The Attorney General of the United States has looked at the evidence presented by Mueller and concluded, it sounds to me like concluded, that there is no reason to think that the president obstructed justice. Is that right?
So here's the key sentence, I think. This is Attorney General William Barr saying that he and Rod Rosenstein, who's the Deputy Attorney General who oversaw the special counsel investigation from its inception, Rosenstein's the guy who brought Mueller in, he says, the deputy and I have concluded that the evidence developed by the special counsel's investigation is not sufficient to establish that the president committed an obstruction of justice offense. And then he says, and we made that decision setting aside, without regard to this whole separation of powers question about whether you can even indict a sitting president. He's saying the evidence isn't there. And he goes on in that second paragraph to say, one of the hardest things about making any obstruction case is the intent of the person who took these actions. And they're saying in cataloging the president's action, the report identifies no actions that, in our judgment, constitute obstructive conduct, had a nexus, a connection to a pending or contemplated proceeding, and were done, I guess you could say, or were done with corrupt intent, all of which are basically the elements of proving an obstruction crime.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.